We've talked in recent weeks, of course, about Kyle Rittenhouse, right? He's the 17-year-old who was charged with fatally shooting 2 people and injuring a third in this August Black Lives Matter protest that happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Well, guess what? This young kid, his mother, received a standing ovation at a Wisconsin GOP event. It happened on Thursday. Keep in mind that Rittenhouse is charged as an adult for 6 counts, including 2 of first-degree murder, for allegedly shooting Anthony Huber, Joseph Rosenbaum with a semi-automatic military-style rifle. He's become a cause with some conservatives and has attracted millions to his legal defense as he fights extradition to Washington. Well, somebody who I literally have had zero respect for, not that she would care that some radio host in Vegas doesn't respect her, but somebody who there's plenty of people that I disagree with, but I have respect for. For example, Judge Janine, who was on our show Friday, and we had an excellent and respectful conversation. In fact, I was actually surprised that she was very reasonable with her thoughts on Kyle Rittenhouse. We'll get to that in a moment. But somebody who I have zero respect for is Michelle Malkin. She is an alt-right figure and a political commentator who invited Rittenhouse's mother and lawyer to this Republican Women of event in Waukesha. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. She has been associated with a variety of white supremacist figures and ideas. This is according to the Anti-Defamation League. I'm not making this up myself. She has defended Japanese internment and post 9/11 racially profiling of Muslims. That's right, she did that. The ADL says, and is called Black Lives Matter, a terrorist organization, and mocked when its supporters got hit by cars. That's right. She did that. She mocked it. You want to talk about violence at these Black Lives Matter protests? Sure, let's do it. No reasonable person, if I could just finish, no reasonable person would agree that there should be violence at these protests. But she mocked people for getting injured when a car mowed through them.
Well, let's not forget that she was actually speaking at a Denver event, a Back the Blue event, and Black Lives Matter showed up, shut it down, and physically assaulted a lot of people there, and she was actually in the middle of that.
Okay, so if I was...
So I'm not surprised that she believes Black Lives Matter is a domestic terrorist organization, because that's what domestic terrorism is, Brian, when you do things like that.
I'm not going to debate you on Black Lives Matter.
I'm just telling you.
And I'm just telling you, just because you get assaulted doesn't mean you should mock a car.
She was at an event backing the Blue for the police, and Black Lives Matter showed up, shut it down,
like I said,
and assaulted people. They basically got on top of the stage. She was in the middle of it. She got knocked down. She was part of the melee. So yeah, she's going to have a poor impression of Black Lives Matter.
Like I said, even if that is true.
It is true.
It's on video. Okay, I'll start over again. Even if that is true, okay? And there's nothing funny about this, by the way. Even if that is true, that doesn't mean you should mock people for getting injured for a white supremacist driving a car through a bunch of people at a Black Lives Matter protest. What I'm trying to say is this woman has zero credibility. Michelle Malkin is a complete dope. She has aligned herself with white supremacists, and she's disgusting. And she proved it once again by inviting Rittenhouse's mother and honoring her. The stupid mother who was the one who dropped off her son. And by the way, who agrees with me? I'll tell you who agrees with me. Judge Janine Pirro from Fox News, who came on this show on Friday and made some very reasonable points. We don't agree on everything, but we had a very good conversation, and I want you to listen to this. This is Judge Janine on our show on Friday talking about Rittenhouse, who, by the way, she has backed, which I disagree with her on this, but she admits that Rittenhouse should have never been there, and the mother should have never dropped him off. Have a listen to this.
Do I think that Kyle Rittenhouse should have been out there, that, he should have been there with a gun? Absolutely not. He's 17 years old. He doesn't have the training.
Yes.
But I think that case in particular is an example of what America is up against when police are standing down.
I agree with just about everything you said, but I think what you said at the beginning is most important. What I do, Judge, is I get frustrated with people that don't have a problem with him being there. I know as a responsible mother, you would not have dropped off your son there if you had a 17-year-old son with a gun. Because
not in a million years.
Right. Because
not in a million years.
Of course, because
you know what? He wouldn't dare walk out of my house that night.
And I appreciated her being honest in saying that. The problem is, and by the way, I do think Judge Janine is a very intelligent woman. I would not say the same about Michelle Malkin. First of all, Malkin is a nut. That's number one. There's a reason why she doesn't make many appearances, if any, anymore on Fox News. And number two, she's just not very intelligent. Judge Jeanine has a resume. Now, I disagree with a lot of what Judge Jeanine says, but she's not a stupid woman. That's all I'm trying to say. Michelle Malkin has literally zero credibility. The fact that Malkin invited Rittenhouse's mom, remember, her son is charged with murder. Okay? Now, if you agree or disagree and you think that it was self-defense or not, let the courts decide that. I don't know. But here's what we do know. It's what Judge Jeanine just said. He shouldn't have been there. First of all, at his age, he was illegally carrying a firearm, the firearm that he was using. That's number one. And number two, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't care whether you're part of, Antifa or a militia group that's fighting Black Lives Matter, whatever the case may be. When you bring a weapon like that into what is already a very volatile and emotional situation, only bad things can happen. Whether it's self-defense or not, that's not what I'm talking about. Only bad things can happen. The fact that this mother, and I think all reasonable people would agree with me, the mother should have never dropped off her son there. The mother was, at a minminimum, extremely irresponsible for doing that.
I wish I was there for this conversation, because I would have asked Judge Jeanine, and I know that I was gone, but I would have asked her, I would have said, I put this on Governor Tony Evers.
So no responsibility on the mother at all for dropping off her 17-year-old son with a gun.
Kenosha police requested 500 National Guard. They only got 125.
Okay, but
they got 25% of what they requested.
So let's have 17.
So people like Kyle Rittenhouse put it upon themselves to try to protect these businesses.
And you're okay with that? You're okay with that?
Am I okay with it? If he was part of it, if he was actually a member of a militia, a well-armed, regulated militia, which is afforded to every single state by the Constitution, I would be totally okay with that.
Okay, so I'm asking you. Hold on a second, but you're not answering my question.
I'm not finished yet.
You're not answering my question.
I'm not finished yet.
You're not answering my question.
I'm gonna answer your question. Now, as a vigilante by himself, am I okay with that? No, I'm not, Brian. But also, video was released last week where Kyle Rittenhouse is being chased down and a shot is fired. That was released on Tucker Carlson's show. So I think, and his attorney, Lynn Wood, is very confident he's going to get off. I think he's going to get off as well.
First of all, that's not what I'm talking about. Whether it's like I said.
No, I'm saying this is on the governor of Wisconsin for not giving the appropriate National Guard support.
I heard what you said
to stop these riots.
First of all, let me just start over by saying,
and that's what I would ask the judge if she agreed with that. And I think she would have.
Whether you think it's self-defense or not is not the issue right now. The courts are going to decide that.
Sure.
The fact that you want to blame the governor for an irresponsible mother. That's what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about all the violence. We're talking about a mother who decided to drop off her 17-year-old son with a semi-automatic weapon, illegally, might I add, into what is a very violent situation. And I can tell you right now, there is no mother out there that has half a brain, that is logical, that is a responsible parent that would do that. And I'll take it even a step further. What Michelle Malkin is doing and what these Republicans are doing in Wisconsin by honoring this mother, honoring her, giving her a standing ovation, because if it was I wonder if Michelle Malkin, well, being the dope that she is, maybe she would. I wonder if Michelle Malkin had a 17-year-old son and there was a really dangerous and volatile protest going on. I wonder if she would give her son a semi-automatic weapon and put her son out there in harm's way by himself, might add you, in a situation. You know, going by how stupid Michelle Malkin is and what a ditz she is, maybe, just maybe she would. I don't know. But folks, do we see what's happening here? They're honoring the mother. They honored her. That is what we are talking about. You can say that it could have been self-defense or not. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't have all the evidence. We'll let the court decide that. What we do know is he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been there. And the mother decided to drop off her son. And there are people in the Republican Party that are honoring this mother.
Brian, clearly, and I think Judge Jeanine is wrong here, clearly Kyle Rittenhouse was well-trained. Clearly, he knew how to use a weapon.
Okay, so
clearly he had experience with a weapon.
Okay, so if we're going
to Kyle Rittenhouse is alive, and two people are not, both of which attempted to attack him, and a third one as well who attempted to attack him. He's not dead, but he's certainly in a worse place than he was, Brian.
Clearly,
so clearly Kyle Rittenhouse was absolutely well trained.
Okay, so clearly he was underage. Clearly, he shouldn't have been there to begin with. Clearly, anybody, in my personal opinion, that is a logical human being would agree with that. Clearly, he shouldn't have been there. I don't care how well trained he was with this weapon. He shouldn't have been there. Clearly, the mother didn't understand the law. Hold on a second. I'm not done yet.
I don't think he would have been there had the National Guard had the appropriate amount of. I mean, remember that the girl we had, Nikki from Wisconsin, come on our show, and she told us verbatim 90% of the downtown was damaged. And had the governor of Wisconsin given the police department the appropriate amount of National Guard support, Kyle Rittenhouse wouldn't have been down there.
Let me be very clear.
Somebody had to protect those businesses because nobody was.
So let's get a bunch of 17-year-old kids illegally carrying a firearm to go down there.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well, now I'm talking now. Let's just let 17-year-olds and let their mother drop them off with semi-automatic weapons because it's the governor's fault. There's not enough police there. This is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. It's ridiculous.
Not, what are you talking
and the
about?
fact that Michelle,
how can you say that? Did the governor give the police department the amount of support they needed? Okay. No, the answer is
how
no.
Many businesses?
So how is that a dumb argument, Brian?
Okay, I'm explaining
it makes
to you.
no sense.
Well, to you, a lot of things don't make no sense, so I'm not surprised.
How is that a dumb argument, Brian?
Okay, well, I'm going to...
Who was going to protect these businesses?
Can I respond?
There was a car lot that had 130 windows broken out.
Can I respond?
Nothing wrong. It was just a car that just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time around a bunch of lawless people that were rioting and looting.
First of all,
causing and vandalizing and causing fires and injuring people.
So I'm going to try
somebody had to protect that downtown.
Let me know when I can answer your question.
That's what Kyle Rittenhouse decided to do.
Let me answer your question.
And hopefully he was part of a militia. I'm not sure that he was, but hopefully he was.
Okay, if I could respond to your question, which was a few minutes ago. Clearly, the person who should not have been there was Kyle Rittenhouse. Clearly, a 17-year-old carrying an illegal firearm should not have been there. So I'm just wondering, because I'm just curious, how many businesses did Kyle Rittenhouse protect? Do you know?
Huh? How
many businesses did he protect? Do you have any idea who he was protecting or how many businesses he protected?
I have no idea what that is.
You don't? Okay.
No. Do you?
Okay, you don't. No.
How is that relevant at all?
Because that's why you're defending him being there, right?
Yeah,
protecting businesses.
Yeah, I don't know what that number is. I know he was down there in front of a car, some type of car. It wasn't a car dealership. It was some type of car. He
was protecting tires.
It was like an auto parts business. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I pose to you this question, and I think it's a very important one because I find it to be utterly disgusting, and some people want to avoid this. But the bottom line is, at this GOP dinner that Michelle Malkin was hosting, they were honoring Kyle Rittenhouse's mother. She got a standing ovation from these sick, trashy people that were at this dinner. They gave Kyle Rittenhouse's mom a standing ovation, and they're painting her out to be a hero for dropping off her 17-year-old son with a semi-automatic weapon by himself, and now 2 people are dead, 1 is injured. So I'm going to open up the phone lines and ask you this question. Do you think that's proper? Is this where we're at now in society, where we honor a mother for doing something that is clearly irresponsible and wrong, and 2 people are dead because of it? The number to call, 702-257-5396. Again, that number, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, is 257-5396. I am not going to get into a debate with you whether I think this was self-defense or not. Let the courts decide that. I don't know. But here's what we do know. He has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Very serious charges. Don't know if he'll be convicted or not. I have no idea. We'll let the courts decide on that. Let all the evidence come forward. We don't have all the evidence. But what we do know is crystal clear, and that is this. He should have never been there. The mother is irresponsible and a dope. She should have never dropped off her 17-year-old son with a semi-automatic weapon. He is not a vigilante. He is not a police officer. He was not even protecting any of his family's businesses. For him to be there was wrong. He shouldn't have been there. Judge Janine agrees with me. Many on Fox News actually do agree with me, but